Behind museum glass, not every artifact is safe. Some carry legends of sickness, ruin, and death. From a vase that kills its owners, to a tomb that predicted a world war, here are some of the most cursed artifacts in the world. In 15th century Italy, a silver vase was crafted in the town of Bassano. Legends say it was gifted to a bride on her wedding day. But by morning, she was dead. Her body found clutching the vase. The vase passed through families and collectors for centuries. Every new owner, according to the stories, had died mysteriously, either from illness, accidents, or sudden unexplained deaths. But eventually, it was hidden away to stop the deaths from continuing. Fast forward to 1980, and the vase resurfaced. It was auctioned, sold to a pharmacist, who died within months. And next, a surgeon bought it. It was dead within weeks. After several deaths, the Bassano vase had vanished again, supposedly confiscated by police and locked away, never to be displayed in any museum. Skeptics argue the entire legend may be a string of coincidences. There's no proof the vase itself actually caused the deaths. But believers note that unlike most cursed artifacts, the Bassano vase hasn't appeared since, and no one knows exactly where it is today. But Italy holds more than one cursed legacy. In Pompeii, even stolen stones are said to bring death. In 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius buried the Roman city of Pompeii in ash. And for centuries, ruins lay frozen in time until excavations revealed streets, homes, and belongings left behind. Tourists who visit the site often took pieces home with them. Things like pottery, tiles, and stones as souvenirs. But soon, the archaeological park began receiving strange packages in the mail. Returned relics, sometimes decades later, accompanied by desperate letters. Brothers confessed the relics had brought nothing but ruin. Car accidents, bankruptcy, illnesses, even death. Dozens of these cursed letters are now archived by the museum itself. Archaeologists dismiss the curse as coincidence, or simply guilt manifesting as bad luck. But the sheer number of cursed letters in the museum's archive suggests something deeper to those who believe. And to this day, packages still arrive at Pompeii, with relics mailed back by those who say the curse is real. But Italy hides another curse, not an ancient ruin, behind the frozen Alps. In 1991, two hikers in the Uzzal Alps of Italy stumbled on a body emerging from melting ice. At first, police thought it was a modern murder victim, but tests revealed it was over 5,000 years old, Europe's oldest natural mummy. Nicknamed Ötzi, his body, clothes, and tools were preserved in shocking detail. Archaeologists recovered a copper axe, a quiver of arrows, and even the food still inside the stomach. The find was so complete, the scientists could reconstruct nearly every detail of his final day. But soon after its discovery, stories of a curse began to spread. By the early 2000s, at least 7 people connected to his study had died under unusual circumstances. Helmut Simon, the hiker who found Ötzi, fell to his death while climbing. Rainer Henn, the pathologist who examined him, was killed in a car accident. Kurt Fritz, who led researchers to the site, was caught in an avalanche. Even filmmaker Bruno Hosel, who documented the discovery, died of a brain tumor soon after. Skeptics point out that thousands of people have worked on Ötzi's remains with no ill effect. But believers say the cluster of deaths among those closest to the discovery is too eerie to ignore. From a body frozen in ice to faces in terror, The next curse lies in the Mexican Museum, where the dead still scream. In the mid-1800s, bodies were exhumed from a cemetery in Guanajuato, Mexico, after families failed to pay burial taxes. To the shock of locals, many of the corpses were perfectly mummified. The mummies' mouths were open, faces twisted in terror. Legends spread that some had been buried alive during a cholera outbreak. The disturbing expressions gave them the name Screaming Mummies. Locals warned disturbing them would bring misfortune. Today they're displayed in the Guanajuato Museum, where visitors swear a curse still lingers. Some claim to hear whispers in the halls. Others leave, convinced the curse follows them home. Skeptics dismiss the legend as tourist folklore, but the museum itself embraces the fear, and the mummies remain one of Mexico's most haunting attractions. Hundreds of faces frozen mid-scream, a curse carved in the flesh on display for all to see. But curses aren't limited to the dead themselves. Sometimes, they're locked inside jewels, displayed under museum glass. In the 19th century, a large purple sapphire was looted from a Hindu temple in India. It passed into the hands of British soldiers, then collectors, and misfortune seemed to follow wherever it went. Owners reported financial ruin, illness, and even death. There's a story of one officer who lost his fortune and his family, and another collector had his house burned to the ground soon after acquiring it. When they finally reached London, Edward Heron Allen, a respected scientist, was so convinced the gem was cursed that he sealed it away with a handwritten warning. The note read, "This stone is triply accursed and should be cast into the sea." So naturally, instead of throwing it into the ocean like Heron Allen recommended, it was donated to the British Museum, where it still remains, rarely displayed and always accompanied by the legend of the curse. Yet the deadly sapphire is only one jewel with a deadly reputation. Another, far more famous, still gleams under the light of the Smithsonian. One of the most famous gems in the world, the Hope Diamond, was cut from a much larger blue stone mined in India. It passed through royal families, merchants, and collectors over centuries, and almost every owner seemed to meet misfortune. French King Louis XVI and Marie Antoinette were both executed. A Dutch jeweler murdered, and others had lost fortunes, fell ill, or died suddenly. Stories say the diamond carried the curse from the moment it was stolen from its temple setting, and today is displayed in the Smithsonian, where thousands can still admire it, though the legends of its curse still remains. But not all curses sparkle like jewelry. Some are carved into stone, waiting to be unleashed by those who dare to open the tomb. In 1941, Soviet archaeologists opened the tomb of Tamerlane in Uzbekistan, the 14th century conqueror who once ruined an empire across Central Asia. Etched on his sarcophagus was an inscription, "Whoever opens my tomb shall unleash an invader more terrible than I." The tomb was opened on June 21st, 1941, and 2 days later, Hitler launched Operation Barbarossa, the largest invasion in history. Stalin, unnerved, ordered the remains were buried with honor in 1942. And within months, the tide of war began to turn. Skeptics argue the timing was coincidence, but the prophecy's chilling accuracy ensures the curse is still remembered today. So is this a coincidence or a prophecy written in stone? Yet even Tamerlane's warnings is rivaled by the most infamous curse of them all, the tomb of King Tutankhamun. In 1922, Howard Carter uncovered the sealed tomb of Tutankhamun in Egypt's Valley of the Kings. It was the most spectacular archaeological find of the century. treasures untouched for over 3,000 years. And soon after, the tomb's benefactor, Lord Carnarvon, died of blood poisoning. Newspapers declared the Pharaohs Curse was real, and over the years, more than 20 people connected to the excavation reportedly died under mysterious circumstances. An inscription was said to warn, "Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the king." Skeptics point to infection, coincidence, or the hazards of early excavation. But for many, Tutankhamun's tomb remains one of the most infamous cursed discoveries in history. From jewels and vases to tombs and mummies, these artifacts remind us that history doesn't always rest quietly. Some carry legends of ruin, death, and curses, warnings that behind every museum glass, the past still has teeth.